closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning.
Have you heard this phrase before? Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. There are 2 points to this video. The first is the reality of that statement and the necessary steps you are going to have to take as a man in order to mitigate that pain or substitute that pain in your life, because it is not a deterministic life we live. More on that later. The second is, no matter what you do, no matter the changes you make to your pronouns, no matter the surgery that you go through to change your body, there is nothing you can do that is going to change you from being a woman into being a man, or from you being a man to being a woman. It is not going to happen. This shit goes deeper than the skin. It goes into your bones. It goes into your very bloodstream, and no matter what changes you make, it cannot be done. So this is a video from the libs of TikTok doing a service to the world, in my personal opinion. This is really sad. A trans man, biological woman who's transitioned to being a man, realizes how hard it is to be a man when you're really a woman. Males and females are different, and no matter what you do to your body, you cannot become the opposite sex.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. I had closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning. Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep than men.
Here's the thing. From a human perspective, I deeply empathize with this particular person. But the reality of the matter is that men and women are fundamentally different. You would have heard this idea of traditional therapy, right? If you have a problem in life, say you're going through a divorce, say you have a bad breakup, or perhaps you're having problems with debt, they say go to traditional therapy, speak with somebody about it. And it works very, very well with women. Why? Because the purpose of traditional therapy, let's call it CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is to talk about feelings and emotions, to understand the feelings and emotions, to have a better relationship with those emotions, with those feelings. Most of it is a kind of emotional catharsis, right? You're just getting those feelings out into the open without letting it boil up inside you, bottle it up, and overflow into some kind of emotional outrage or turmoil. Very, very effective for women. Works. Women like to talk about their feelings. They're very, very deep, as this individual says. It doesn't work for men. Why doesn't it work for men? Because men rarely want to talk about their feelings and their problems. I'm not saying that men don't appreciate emotions or understand emotions or have emotions in and of themselves. What I'm saying is men typically want to solve a problem. We want to fix the problem, and traditional therapy, CBT, is not predicated on fixing the problem, on finding a solution for the issue. It's predicated on talking about feelings, understanding those feelings and emotion, which only gets you so far. But practically, it has no application. You hear it all the time in couples therapy. When I'm arguing with my husband, he always wants to fix it. He wants to fix the problem. So strange. Every single time we talk, he just wants to fix it. If we're having problems with our sex, he just wants to fix it. If we're having problems with our kids, he wants to fix the problem. Weird. Yeah, we want to find a solution. We're rational, we're logical beings. And I prefaced, no matter what you think you can change, in terms of your pronouns, in terms of getting on testosterone, in terms of getting top surgery, you are not going to get rid of that innate way we engage with the world as men. And I'm saying by and large most men. I'm sure there are very feminine men out there who like to relate to their feelings a lot more and may find solace and a good solution in that. I'm sure. But by and large, men are problem solvers. We want to fix things. We want more power. We want more responsibility in our lives. That's what gives us meaning, purpose, direction, and is intimately tied with how we experience quality in our lives.
But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to have people want to hug us. And to have people want to talk to us. And to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build.
I'm not sure I would agree with everything there. I think as a man, it's very, very easy to build a authentic, powerful friendship very, very quickly. Men are very simple beings, as I've said to you before. We are logical, we are rational. If we are complimenting you on the color of your shirt, we just like the shirt. There's no ulterior motives there. We're very, very simple. That Family Guy meme is coming up on my head. Men, we just want to be friends. We're very, very simple. No backhanded compliments. No ulterior motives there. Women, when they're trying to build an authentic friendship, there's always something sinister beneath the surface, is there not? We're very, very simple beings.
And people are colder. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men. Because this shit is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really, really hard. Try to think about how you can, in your small little community where you feel safe, can reach out to the men in your life and just help them.
What really highlights there for me is how men and women differ in terms of what we appreciate and value in a relationship, in a friendship, right? Because this individual is a biological woman, right? And women's friendships are predicated on that emotional connection. When men have when men make friends, when men have a social circle, we don't really give a fuck about the emotional connection between us. Of course, there's going to be, camaraderie, and we have a general likeness for the people that we're hanging out with, but typically it's predicated on interests, right? Why do you make friends with the people that you go to the gym with? Well, because you like lifting heavy weights together. Why do you make friends with people who enjoy watching football? Because you like going to the pub and watching football together. Why do you make friends with people who like playing poker? Because you like playing poker together. Rarely is it predicated on the fact that, I have an emotional connection with my friend. And yeah, you might have emotional connections with your friends as a man. That's completely fine. But I'm saying it's not the priority of the reason that you're engaging with those individuals. It's because you share interests together. It's because you see yourself perhaps in these people as well. Perhaps you have similar humor. You have similar movies that you enjoy or actors that you enjoy. That's the reason. It's very, very different from women. Very, very different. It's not the same. And I think here, unfortunately, and again, I have a lot of compassion for human beings in general, irrespective of your race, gender, creed, religion, whatever the case is this person's got a very unique insight into not just having an idea of what it's like to be a man in the world today, but experiencing the reality of what it's like to be a man in the world today. Unfortunately, with that emotional sensitivity of a woman. And like this individual has said here, why the suicide rates are so high for those individuals, because we lead lives of quiet desperation. Now, a sidebar to this is most men, I don't believe this narrative. This person's in a very emotionally heightened state at this time, and they've been saying things like, people cross the street not to be near you. It's very easy to identify with a narrative that everybody in the world hates you just because you're a white man. It's not true. And those of you who continue to take that narrative and live their life by it, guess what? You will live the life of a man who is hated by everybody if you continue to believe the story that you tell yourself. So you cannot allow yourself to fall victim, yes, victim to this narrative. Especially in the dating world right now, which is very, very difficult. I implore you to exercise your social skills. I implore you to read up on very heartwarming, very inspirational, motivating stories where, despite the odds, despite the stories of thinking that the world is against you, there is hope. There are case studies where you can be attractive to women despite maybe you not being conventionally attractive. I'm actually rereading The Game by Neil Strauss, a very, very controversial book, right? If you haven't, this is a PUA pickup artist book. And I enjoy it just for the social intelligence, just for the social skills that are involved when you're going about talking to women, even talking to other people, talking to, men. Because a lot of men are very, very shy. And, if they don't have a lot of friendships in the world, like this individual was saying here, they feel like it's very, very difficult to make friendships with men. In fact, it's very, very easy. Men are simple creatures, as we've established so far. But part and parcel of the value in this book is demolishing the narrative that just because you're not 6'4", have a square jaw, and handsome, that you cannot attract high quality women in your life. This guy is 5'6", bald, big nose, not conventionally attractive, right? And he has thousands of case studies of him sleeping and getting into relationships with very high quality women. Well, let's say attractive women. Whether or not the high quality, is questionable. But the point of these videos, the point of masculine theory, is not to make you feel unappreciated as a man. Is not to buy into this narrative that the world is toxic and there's no hope. I don't want you to feel hopeless watching these videos. I want to instill in you hope. I want you to write a narrative in your mind that is conducive with optimism. I want you to leave optimistic, right? Unfortunately, this is a reality for this individual here, right? Of course, the hormonal markers, the emotional foundation of a woman in the appearance of a man is going to make things very, very difficult because we as men, being born as a man, have emotional distance, right? And we have better discernment in that fact. And this individual is going to have to learn very, very quickly to disquiet that part of themselves and move past it and start to move from a perspective of, the social confidence that you can accrue, which is a skill. Charisma, humor, engaging people is a skill. And despite those stories, you can be very, very successful. It's a very, very entertaining book. These aren't theories. These are facts. Speak soon.